I'm going to go be a Navy SEAL. So I leave my house. I go talk to a recruiter. Now, I'm about 297 pounds. And I walk in that place eating. And the recruiter looks at me because I called him several times. I called several recruiters. The story is so much longer than this. I called several recruiters. Many of them laughed at me because I told them, because they say, hey, how much do you weigh? Because you have to be a certain weight to get in the military, height and weight standards. I did not meet those height and weight standards. So I walk into this guy named Steven Saljo. He looks at me. He goes, you're fat and you're black. I'm like, man, you are observant of hell. You are observant man. So he said the black part, because at the time, there had only been 35 African Americans ever graduate Navy SEAL training in over 70 years. I didn't know that part, but I didn't care. So he takes me back, does my height weight, does it. He's looking at me and looking at him. He goes, man, you got to lose like 106 pounds. I'm like, well, all right. He goes, okay, he goes back, gets all these manuals. Since I was in the Air Force, prior service time, long story short, people, I had 3 months to lose 106 pounds. So I walk out saying this is never going to happen. So when I walk out, I go back to Ecolab, spraying for cockroaches. There's always someone talking to you in this world. Are you listening? This day I was. So I'm in the back of this restaurant, and I can't tell you the name because I signed a confidentiality agreement. So I'm in the back of this kitchen, and I'm spraying for cockroaches. And when you're spraying for cockroaches, you're looking for these spots where the cockroaches hide. I hated cockroaches, but I needed a damn job. So I knew where they hid, but I used to never do my job. So I was going there. I usually raid the kitchen, get the food, and then leave them a bill. So this particular day, here I am spraying for cockroaches, and it's called the money spot. I put my wand in this hole, and in this hole, it went through, and it flushed out so many cockroaches that they were coming through the ceiling and landing on my head. And literally, as I continued spraying, rodents were just flying around the floor. This is why you sign a confidentiality agreement. So here I am spraying for cockroaches, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm down, and cockroaches are pecking me in the back of my damn head, and I had this mask on my face, I have this canister of crap, and I'm fat as hell, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is my life. This is my entire life. So I had the bright idea, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to be the standard. I'm going to try to become the standard. So I quit my job, and I realized what the standard was to be a Navy SEAL. I looked at that standard, and I said, wow, I can't even run a mile. And you have to run 4 in a certain time, do an obstacle course, carry heavy packs. I said, I'm going to have to be the standard, which means whatever they say I have to do above that. So I was training this young man about 6 years ago. He worked for a financial company. His name is Joe. He told me the standard of the company. The standard for the company was doing 40 dials, having 6 meetings a day. Being the standard sometimes means you have to do 100 dials and have 16 meetings a day. And he went on to do that, and now he pretty much owns the damn company. And that was my mindset here. When I make a decision now, I have to make the decision to become the person that everybody else follows. Not the one that meets it, but the one that people look at saying, I have to be him. So I put that mentality into it. It wasn't easy, but I went back to the recruiter 2.5 months later, and that once big basketball head I had shrunk up. He didn't even know who I was. I walk in, 191 pounds. I get accepted to the program to try to be a Navy SEAL.